unfortunately, I think like many people, I have become jaded after October 7th. I've always been a very liberal person. I was very woke in my teenage years and early 20s, and I wanted to volunteer. And I thought, what is the group of people that needs the most care and work in Australia? And I thought Muslims. I thought there's so much Islamophobia. It's the biggest issue in Australia. So I dedicated hours a week volunteering with newly arrived Syrian and Afghan refugees, and it was a very good learning experience. But all that to say that since October 7th, I'm feeling very hopeless that Islam is compatible in the West.
That's a great question, and it really says out loud what a lot of people are feeling and are afraid to say. So I applaud you for saying it out loud. Here's what I think. It's very hard to reconcile Islam and Western civilization, given these decades of extremism, given the fact that the Islamists in particular have championed the most fundamentalist interpretations of Islam. There are Islamic philosophers and Islamic feminists who have been trying to interpret Islam in reformist ways. But then what happens to them? They are killed, they're hung, they're persecuted, and they're punished, and their books are banned and burned, etc. Now, the tragedy of what happens to Muslims in the West is, and it's really interesting that you use the word care. You said, out of care, I wanted to help these immigrant Muslim communities. This is why the most nefarious Islamist lobby in America is called CARE. Right? It's an acronym, but it is basically preying on these feelings of empathy that are very legitimate in society. You know, they want to brainwash and manipulate people who just genuinely want to help. And so what they did is they've restricted the definition of who is a Muslim, and not only that, who gets to speak, who gets to represent Islam and Muslims in both the West and the East. And if there's anyone who stands out of that, who kind of steps out of line, they boycott them, they silence them, they punish them, particularly socially, you know, they strip them of community. And this is a very painful thing to do to people who come from Eastern backgrounds, where the whole idea of individualism and boundaries doesn't even exist, right? And so people have no choice but to, if they want to belong in Muslim community, succumb to Islamist spaces and leadership, or become part of it, like actually preach it and promote it. And this is really the tragedy of what we've allowed